Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from our sponsor. The Daily Compliance News for December 17, 2022, the Lavish Lifestyle Edition. We begin with that story from the New York Times, and it deals with the ongoing story of alleged bribery of Qatar of EU parliamentary officials. And it focuses on the face of the scandal, Greek politician Eva Kaili, and whose lavish lifestyle on a, frankly, bureaucrat's salary should have been a red flag for anyone watching. She flew back and forth to the World Cup, sat at the VIP box, and lived a lifestyle that was far beyond what she could afford. That's a red flag in the fraud world, according to the ACFE, and it's a red flag in the bribery and corruption world. So CCOs, be aware. Next up from the Wall Street Journal, Risk and Compliance Journal, Mingy Sun reporting that the New York financial regulator, the DFS, or Department of Financial Services, said banks looking to enter the crypto space need to first seek approval from the regulator. So it's a really interesting move, as almost all large banks are in New York City. So they will have to notify the DFS within 90 days, or at least 90 days, before starting any significantly new or different crypto-related activities. Banks are required to submit additional information across 6 categories: present business plans, explain how they manage the enterprise risk, details on corporate governance, how consumers will be protected, and to spell out financial and legal analysis. So kudos to the DFS. Next up from The Guardian, a really interesting article, which is entitled, "Crypto is Meant to Solve Financial Corruption. FTX Shows It's Just Gotten Worse." And I couldn't agree with that sentiment more. When you make up tokens and claim they have financial value, you can immediately see the risk of manipulation, and that's the heart of the FTX scandal. Yes, there was sharing of customer accounts, and yes, there was insider trading, but the bottom line is, if you have such a asset, it is going to be subject to manipulation. And our final story is that Amazon agrees to change some business practices in Europe based upon the settlement with EU antitrust regulators. So EU is moving forward on antitrust as well. I hope you have a great weekend.
The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.